4, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Good evening, and good afternoon, everyone, wherever you're tuning in right now. Thank you again for joining us here on INC Radio New York. I am Sister Abby Hidalgo, your host for today's episode. And with me, we have some lovely people. We have Sister Mika, and this is probably a familiar face for those who've been with us for quite some time. We have Brother Jeff all the way from District of New Jersey, who's joining us today. And we have Sister Jackie Sabino, who will be our guest for today. So for how is everyone doing, actually, before we get started? How are you, Sister Jackie?
Oh, I'm good. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining.
Good morning.
And
Good
Brother
to see
Jeff.
all y'all. It's great to see all y'all, and especially Jackie. You know, I'm so psyched to hear about. It's going to be about crafting. It's something that I kind of would like to do if I had more free time, and I know it's something very therapeutic. So, looking forward to really hearing your experience. And also, Abby, thank you for calling me lovely.
We miss our fellow New Jerseyans, if that's the right label for you guys down in New Jersey.
I believe so. Yeah, I mean, yeah, honestly, you're like a stone's throw away, literally, because I'm right across the river from y'all. Like I can see the city, so it's so funny. But yeah. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yes, we are so glad you're here, Brother Jeff. I know I miss our collabs. You know, we should make that definitely happen one day again. Our chaotic energies is definitely something that we all need. But yeah, so we'll talk about our topic. Sister Abby, did you want to do that, or do you want me to?
Sure. So, as we kind of briefly mentioned, we are going to talk about crafting. So, we will unleash our inner artists and explore the healing power of creativity. Crafting goes beyond just a hobby, it can be a therapeutic tool for emotional release and personal growth. So, on today's INC Radio New York, we'll be sharing our favorite forms of craft and how they helped us heal over offering inspiration for your own creative path to well-being.
That's right. And so that's why we couldn't help. Whenever I think of crafting, I think one of the first people that comes to mind in our district is our guest for today, Sister Jackie. So,
Thank you.
yes, she's one of like the artsiest, craftiest people that I know. Yes, you are, you know. So why don't you tell us how exactly you got started and what kind of different crafts do you like to do?
Yeah, well, it all started when the kids were small. I got into scrapbooking. Um, you know, when they're still little, you take so many pictures, like, special outings, just being with the family all the time, and you tend to collect photos. So I wanted to create an album for each of them, for them to look through when they get older. So scrapbooking was the crafts for me back then.
But it didn't stop there, folks. So yeah, at the Jackie, well, you didn't stop at scrapbooking. Yeah, well, we
No.
chatted for a little bit before the show. So what was next?
Well, your interest evolves through the years. After that, I started to get into flower making. I did it for some weddings. I did it for friends, uh, for church activities as well. It was it's therapeutic. Flower making is therapeutic because paper flowers don't die, right?
Yes, that's right. No, so at the Jackie, can you just explain to so how do you make like paper flowers? Because I
Oh,
don't know if like people like understand like is it like just like the regular flowers? Because I know you also make like the big one.
well, I was self-taught. I watched a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of tutorials. Um, it's really hard to explain. I would have to just probably show you, but um, it's a lot of cutting because I cut every petal by hand. Yeah, a lot of hot gluing, and believe me, I've had many burns from that.
I was
But
just gonna ask
yeah,
because I've had my fair share of burns or like
mm,
hot glue.
but the end result after everything's done is just it makes you happy. Flowers make
Is
you
there
happy, right?
is there like yeah, they do. I
Mhm.
mean, and they don't wilt. They
Yeah.
last for essentially forever. But
And also,
is there
paper
like
flowers are the kind of flowers that I'm not allergic to.
that too.
That is
So
right.
true.
Zero pollen.
Is there like a pattern that you can use, or do you kind of like a free
Yeah,
like a
some
free
people have
form?
like machines, like the Cricut machine. You can download like free patterns. But
Mhm.
what I did, I from watching the YouTube videos, I used to just freehand freehand my petals, and yeah, from there just like trace them from they're all different sizes and cut every single petal. I don't know, I don't know what I was thinking back then, but at that moment, like it was just it was just something fun to do and something fun to learn because there was a big trend with paper flowers.
Oh.
Yeah.
But at the I have you always been like into like crafts or arts even before you had kids or like or have you always just been making things?
I was. Yeah, I used to make invitations for friends, and yeah, ever since then I just like to make things with my hand, create things, create little things, paper, a lot of paper.
I feel like the most crafts I've done at least are like the ribbons for the CWS for our
Oh,
class.
those are always so cute.
So me and sister Ivy and the other officers, we would make these rose patterned what do I
You
call it?
cut them by hand too, or do you?
No, she uses a machine to like kind of to put like the lines so that we
Mm,
don't hold them, but then everything else we do by hand. We have a hole puncher. We have a huge hole puncher for the for
yeah,
the round where we print out their names and all of that. That does
yeah.
like
Crafting can be very expensive. Like once you start, you're like, oh, maybe I should get this new tool. You want more things for embellishments, and yeah, it can get expensive.
yes. I know I've had to tell Ivy it's like don't it's okay we'll take care of it. We used to just hand cut the round paper, the circles, but then she found these big hole punchers.
Yeah.
It's and it's
Hmm.
so very therapeutic. Just, making a perfect circle.
I think that's why I prefer to cut the petals by hand. Because you make your own design with it. Like I didn't. I mean, even though I did have a machine to, basically do it for me, I like to just create my own design. You know,
Yeah.
that was the therapeutic part for me.
because it's you, it's your form of expression,
Right,
even
right.
if it's just a simple way. Instead of letting a cold machine do it, repeat the process. You're
Hmm.
there. You have
And
your
then it all
hand.
looks
Yeah.
right with the machine. It all looks the same. The end result looks the same, but with when you put your own twist on it, everything is different. Like no two petals are the same, right? With real flowers, so that's what I try to do with paper flowers, if that makes sense.
Oh,
Yes, yes,
makes total sense. Yeah.
yeah, that's so cool. But did you? I was gonna say what Brother Jeff said earlier. Did you stop there?
I did
But
not.
wait, there's more.
So yeah, these days I'm very busy with my baking. Um, and baking is a craft. For some people, some people don't think it's a craft, but it's a craft.
Isn't
You
that
know,
your name?
Huh?
Your what do you call this? Your handle.
Oh my, oh, Baker's
Or
Crafts.
yeah.
Baker's
It is
Crafts. My
your
Instagram, Baker's Crafts. Yes,
yeah. So what kind of what do you bake at the Jackie?
I bake Filipino baked goods like from pandesals to my husband's favorite cassava cakes,
Ooh.
um, ube cupcakes with the leche flan on top, mochi cakes, just a variety, um, but Filipino, and some with the twist. And a lot of the recipes that I um, I have is from my mom. So I followed from what she taught me because before I got married, she said, "Watch me and learn how to make this so that you know how to make it for your family." So thanks, mom.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, well, crafting is also a way for families to bond together and make
Hmm.
together as well as friends, right? I know
Right.
that while we make the ribbons, we also talk about life and like update each other and all of that. So, Brother Jeff and Sister Abby, have you guys tried any sort of crafting?
Ladies first.
Um,
Go for it, Sister Abby.
Hmm.
well, when I was younger, I tried to knit, and the only thing I could knit was a scarf, and it was okay. And then there was a local activity where it was hand knitting. So there's like these yarn that you can buy in the store that it's already pre like loops. There's already loops in it, and you can hand knit it. So I learned that, and then I was like, oh, I can make a big blanket, and then you can like purchase certain type of yarn, and like what Sister
Hmm.
Jackie said, like it can get a little pricey once you start like
Yeah.
getting into it. But like it wasn't like a one and done kind of thing. So I just made like some big blankets and whatnot. And I tried to do the scrapbooking, but I just don't have the creative mind to put things together to make it look nice. So yeah, like I dabbled here and there, but I haven't really had anything that stuck. But like I'm willing to learn like different types of stuff to like do in my free time because we're stressed all the time with work, school, what have you, and having something that you enjoy to just like decompress and wind down. And I don't want to say like just do something mindless because crafting isn't mindless, but kind of just like you know, I I think like cutting paper or cutting things is, just decompresses your brain for me. I don't
Absolutely.
know if that makes sense.
Yep. Way
Sister
better
Abby,
than
can
just
you
cut
make
and
me?
paste
Oh, I'm
on a
sorry.
computer.
I mean, there is like something to be said about like, creating something like using a computer, but it's definitely different to like create something with your hands, like with your actual hands, right? I just realized we kind of went straight ahead to at the Jackie story, but I don't know um if our audience knows what the different types of like crafts are, right? because there's different. It's not just so at the Jackie mentioned a few, right? She did scrapbooking, she did flower making, like paper crafts, and she's doing baking. But there's also different types of crafts. There's like what Sister Abby mentioned, she knitted, right? Sewing, quilting. That is also a craft. Jewelry making. Remember when we were younger, or at least like when we made like those friendship bracelets? That can be a craft as well. Um, what do you call this? Like woodworking.
Hmm.
That's a bigger,
Yeah.
like I guess a more expensive kind of craft. And painting, drawing, those are also different crafts. Um, so how else has crafting benefited you at the Jackie, aside from, does it relax you, stress you out?
I think a little bit of both. It can be stressful, and but always at the end result, like whatever you're doing, if it makes you happy, you feel good about what you did. It gives you self-worth, and it also makes you happy when others enjoy it, you know um so they're also benefiting from your craftiness. So that's that's what gives me the joy. Like, if it's stressful, it's all worth it, but it's not all stressful.
I mean, otherwise you wouldn't do it. You just stick to
No,
work.
exactly. Otherwise I just go buy it at the store, right?
Hmm. Which
That's
is
so
also,
true.
oh,
Sorry,
sorry, go ahead, Mika. Yeah.
good, good, good.
I was going to say that that's also part of the process too, because actually, all of you mentioned, you start out, and once again, for viewers and listeners, we mentioned that there are these tools, there are these machines, but if you're hearing Ate Jackie's story, she just started out with paper and scissors and just cut them herself. So there are easy entryways to do so. And yes, you can get more expensive after that, but it's also with more skill. So we have that ability to do so. And I think Ate Jackie, you can definitely speak on this. Part of the fun too is maybe even going to the crafting stores and seeing what's out there. Maybe that's also a form of inspiration too, right?
Oh yes, I could spend like endless hours just looking at embellishments, paper, all different types of paper. Yeah, I'd rather be in a craft store than the grocery store. So
Although both of them contribute to a craft.
yeah, you're right.
Although one is edible and the other one's not. So those paper flowers, yeah. But the crafts out there that you make with flour are edible. So that's good. All right, Mika, what do we
Oh,
have
Mhm.
next?
That was a good
Sorry, I was like,
question,
wait,
Jeff.
what is he? Yes, that's right. You're so witty, Brother Jeff. I miss that. But yeah, aside from, uh, crafting being relaxing to you, how else has it benefited you in your life?
Well, when we have activities, crafting can be very cost effective because sometimes you're working with a limited budget. So what we do is we work with what we have. We create something to make it beautiful. um, and I think at the end, like, people enjoy what you make. Like, say we have a formal, um, what we usually do is try to create something instead of buying something, um, to make everything cost effective, if that makes sense.
No, makes total sense out there. I mean, actually, would you have an idea or provide some kind of idea how much you could save by crafting versus spending the money to do so? I know it's
Oh
not
no.
on the it's not on our schedule, but it is something that people might be interested in learning.
If you want to, say, like, you want to make a centerpiece, just a simple centerpiece, it can range from, if you buy it at the store, it can range from $30 and up. By making it yourself, you can cut the cost in half. Yeah.
Wow. So save in half.
Hmm.
You know, so many
You have
reads
to
to
know,
craft.
you also
Yeah.
have to know like where you're getting your, like where your resources are. But yeah,
Ah. Very true. And at the Jackie, one of the things you mentioned was one of the resources that you can't pay for is learning from others, having a mentor, having your mom teach you these things, and that is the priceless part of crafting. Also, the time that we spend together, Mika, like you mentioned, making the bracelets, making those bonds with one another. So many benefits to crafting.
yep, absolutely.
That's right. Thank you so much again, Sister Jackie, for being here with us today. So we're kind of going towards the end of our
Of
broadcast.
course.
Before we end, before we read some of the comments, do you have any shout outs or greetings, Ate Jackie?
Yes, I'd like to give a shout out to my husband and my children. Thank you um for always being there with, through my crafty endeavors. And also a shout out to the local of Forest Hills.
Yes, thank you so thank you so much. Thank you for not backing out at the Jackie. We really appreciate you here. Hi, Booborn.
Hi, everybody.
Do
How's
you have
everyone?
any shout outs or greetings?
To my wife, of course. I'm always proud of her. I'm always in awe when she does her crafting because even though it gets, she takes a lot of time and she takes a lot of, effort in making all these beautiful things. And, it's really, when I see her do it, I'm always in amazement of how great she is at it, and then like how proud she is of it. It's very beautiful when you get a chance to see her at work, and then the final product is always
Mhm.
perfect. So I'm always proud of her.
Oh, that's so sweet. I'm so killing.
For real, you two are goals, like 100%.
How are you, brother Jeff? It's good to see you.
Always go ahead. I miss you guys out there. I mean, it's so funny. We're across the
Come
river,
visit.
but yeah, we'll come visit, and definitely got to check out some of your baked crafts.
Yes.
Oh, they're so good. I can tell you from experience, brother Jeff.
I was gonna tell Sister Abby if she makes me a blanket, I will give her some cupcakes.
I think that's a fair trade.
Mhm.
So, Brother Jeff, thank you also for being with us today. Do you have, you know, have you had any like crafting experiences? I didn't get to ask.
Well, interesting that you mentioned like and Ata Jackie, I'm totally with you on that. I actually did also make invitations, and it gets so much fun. Like when you look at
Mhm.
the different papers, the textures, the thicknesses, some
Yeah.
of them even have like a smell. And sometimes when you
Yes.
make invitations, you can put like a fragrance on it. I know, yeah, it's it's just
Why
so
don't
much
Why
fun.
don't you invite us to something then, so we can see your invitations, brother Jeff?
Let's do it.
Yeah,
uh,
there's so many like with just paper alone, textures, shimmer, flat, all
oh,
that
vellum. That's one of my favorites.
stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, this is great.
Mhm.
No, but
I think
thank you
it's fun.
It is. And like Brother Jeff said earlier, it doesn't have to be expensive. You can just start with something very simple. As long as you get to do something with your hands and, with your creativity, a way to express yourself. Um, you know, that's already doing a lot. All right. So before we read some greetings, Brother Jeff, do you have any greetings or shout outs?
Of course, and thank you to New York for inviting me on the show. I always love these connections. It's so great. I have to shout out, of course, the New Jersey staff. So shout out to Brother Alex Reyes, our district minister. Shout out to Brother Ruben Bustos Jr. Shout out to Brother Royal Moline. And shout out to Brother James Malabanan. And also got some greetings. Happy birthday to my sister-in-law, Margaret Lucas. And happy anniversary to you and Marvin, my brother-in-law. Happy birthday to former New Yorkers, Brother Philip Tabale. And also happy birthday to you. Happy anniversary to you and Sister Eileen, and just Happy, happy joining you guys. So greetings to New York. Miss you.
Oh, yes, we love it. We love that you're here with us today, Brother Jeff. All right, so we're going to read some greetings from our live chat. Both perfection and imperfection can be used throughout art from Sister Sophia. From Sister Joanne, I love to edit or my dress too, like make it longer, alter the shape of the dress, or embellish. Sister Janine Delistan says, paper crafts are fun. Sister Blessy says, I love jewelry making from Portland. Sister Joanne said it again. I love crafting and do DIYs. I love to do acrylic paint with 3D like fabrics, and I love diamond painting. Ooh, that's
Wow,
Ooh,
that's cool.
with
yeah,
real diamonds. So that's when it gets really expensive.
I know.
I think my wife would be my wife would love that. Yeah. Shout out to my wife.
There.
Yeah.
So, Sister Bridget Tabuena, I like to make mosaic art with scraps. That's very interesting. Sister Blessy says that crafting relieves your stress away. Brother Rainier Pimentel says, we love your baking, Sister Jackie. From
Oh, thank you po.
Sister Cheyenne says, DIY crafting is definitely cost effective. Sister Joanne says, DIY projects aren't just about creating something new, they're a powerful way to engage your mind and relieve stress. We have Sister Karen Castillo says, I like scrapbooking. Happy Saturday to all and happy viewing from upstate New York. And we have Sister Angela Jasmine from Staten Island, where I am at right now. I'm in Staten Island. Woohoo. I allow my son to cut up various textures of paper and we glue them on canvas however he wants. It serves as both family time and saving sentimental art. Oh, that is
Aw.
nice. Yes, so we love crafting and we hope that somehow, some way everyone can do some sort of crafting in their life. All right. And then some activities from our upcoming activities for our district. We are going to have local scrimmages for our district unity games. Please coordinate with your CFO officers for the different sports, dates, and all of that so that you can join in on all of the fun. There are also going to be evangelical missions in all the local congregations. Please coordinate with your resident minister or worker as for the schedules. And of course, we can't forget to recognize our top 3 local congregations from last week's hashtag challenge. So we got number 3. It is Woodbury. Congrats, Woodbury. Number 2 is we have Staten Island. Let's go, Staten. And number 1, we have, drum roll please, Portland. I'm making my own drum rolls. Yes, congratulations, Portland. And of course, we can't forget to recognize the top hashtaggers. They are the reason that their local congregations and extensions placed in our hashtag challenge. We have Sister Alexa from Portland, number 3. Number 2, we have Sister Rose Rivera from Portland. And number 1, Brother Zion from Staten Island. All right, so everyone, please continue to represent your local congregation each week. Please don't forget to add your name and your local, obviously your local congregation with your comments. Join in on our conversations. We would love to hear your opinions about the things that we talk about. Just like earlier when you shared what kind of different crafts you like to do, that was great, and we would love to learn more about you that is tuning in to our broadcasts so that we can grow closer together as a district. All right. So that is all for our show today. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you once again to the church administration for giving us a platform to share and speak about interesting topics like these. If you have not done so, please click the thumbs up to like this video and please subscribe. And don't forget to catch us again next week, Saturday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, or Sunday, 12:30 a.m. Philippine time. We'd also like to greet our beloved executive minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, and to our Christian Family Organization Coordinator and CEBSI President, Brother Angelo Irano Manalo. Also, greetings to our INC radio station manager, Brother Wally Taray, and our executive producer, Kiamelian Daya, especially to our district minister, Brother Sheridan Santos, our assistant district minister, Brother Neil Patrick Omelda, our CFO advisor, Brother Jason Flores. And that brings us to the end of our show. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.